Jesus comments on the vision of his calming of the storm. I will not expound the gospel in the same sense as everybody else does. I will elucidate the circumstances preceding the gospel passage. Why was I sleeping? Did I perhaps not know that there was going to be a storm? Yes, I knew. Only I knew. Why was I sleeping then? The apostles were men, Mary. They were full of goodwill, but still very much men. Man thinks he is always capable of everything. When he is really capable of doing something, he is full of haughtiness and attachment to his ability. Peter, Andrew, James and John were good fishermen, and consequently they thought they were unexcelled in handling a boat. As far as they were concerned, I was a great rabbi, but a mere nothing as a sailor. Thus they thought I was unable to help them, and when on the boat to cross the Sea of Galilee, they begged me to sit down because I was not capable of doing anything else. Also, their love for me was behind their attitude, as they did not want me to do any material work, but their attachment to their own ability was greater than their love. I do not impose myself, Mary, except in exceptional cases. And just to know that he's speaking to Maria Valtorta here. I generally leave you free and wait. On that day, tired as I was, and being requested to rest, that is, to let them act, clever as they were, I went to sleep. In my sleep, there was mingled also the ascertainment of how man is man, and wants to do things by himself, without feeling that God asks but to help him. I saw in those spiritual deaf men, in those spiritual blind men, all the spiritual deaf and blind people who throughout centuries would ruin themselves because they wanted to do by themselves, although I was bent over their needs, awaiting to be asked to help them. When Peter shouted, "Save us," my bitterness dropped like a stone. I am not man, I am the God-man. I do not behave as you do. When someone rejects your advice or your help, and you see him in trouble, even if you're not so bad as to rejoice at it, you are uncharitable enough to look at him disdainfully and indifferently, without being moved by his shouts for help. Your attitude means, when I wanted to help you, you did not want me. Well, help yourself now. But I am Jesus. I am the Saviour. And I save, Mary. I always save, as soon as I'm asked to. The poor men might object. In that case, why do you allow single or collective storms to break out? If by my power I should destroy evil, you would consider yourselves the authors of good, which in actual fact is a gift of mine, and you would not remember me any longer. You would never remember me. My poor children, you are in need of sorrow to remember that you have a father. As the prodigal son remembered he had a father when he was hungry. Misfortunes persuade you of your nothingness, of your ignorance, which is the cause of so many errors of your wickedness, the cause of so much mourning and grief, of your faults, the cause of the punishments which you inflict upon yourselves, as well as of my existence, of my power, and of my goodness. That is what today's gospel teaches you. Your gospel of the present time, my poor children. Call me. Jesus does not sleep except when he is in anguish because he sees that he is not loved by you. Call me and I will come. And that's a really interesting explanation of why there's evil in the world. As he says, if by my power I should destroy evil, you would consider yourselves the authors of good, and you would not remember me any longer. And that would be a disaster for us, because we would all end up in hell. Since in this life, we are to draw close to God and accept the family relationship that we have through our baptism, which sets us up for being with God forever. But of course, we have freedom to negate the effects of our baptism and to leave the family like the prodigal son and never come back. But of course, we do leave the family, that family of God which we are members of by virtue of our baptism. As Catholics, we leave, but then misfortune hits, and like the prodigal son, we come back. So Jesus' explanation of why evil must persist is practical and very profound.